This is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV. We're here today in New Orleans with Eric Griffin, Vice President of Offshore and Fishing for Inmarsat. Can you just give us an update of where we are today with Fleet Express specifically and enhancements?
So we've recently celebrated our 7,500th activation this year. We're installing, continue to install at about 150 to 200 per month. We have recently celebrated some wins in the offshore space, specifically with Bourbon Offshore. They've committed their fleet to Fleet Express, and we also have signed a deal with Maersk Supply to extend services on their vessels for another 3 years. Okay. So all in all, quite exciting. We're also have some developments happening as well. So we've recently signed a deal with ABB. To be an analytics provider on our fleet data service, which is an IoT platform that we're rolling out to the market. And we also, in fact, today we've announced a deal with Tampnet, where we are going to be providing a combined service called Fleet LTE with LTE and Fleet Express. Initially, we'll start out in the North Sea in Q1, and we'll look at expanding in other regions where feasible.
Okay. Well, any success, as I think you might agree, in the offshore market is a bit rare these days. The offshore industry has gone through some tough times over the last 5 years. So what specifically do you attribute the success in offshore that you've seen?
Well, it's about providing value. So we are able to show that by using our service, we're able to improve operational efficiency and therefore improve operating expenses. What we've seen with Bourbon is by using our services, they've been able to save OPEX by 20%, in excess of 20%. So we're very pleased with those results, and those kind of results the market is taking notice of, and they're looking at how they can use our services to save money.
How do you see the reality on the street today with companies incorporating modern digitalization solutions?
So I think it's very dependent on the customer. If you look at the market as a whole, I would say that the trend now is they're at the starting gates of what they know they need to do. So vessel owners know they need to do something. They just need to figure out how they're going to do it. And so there's a lot of discussions happening, and we're involved in those discussions. Some customers there are a few larger customers that are more advanced in those discussions than others, and you're starting to see some of those efforts being rolled out. But by and large, companies are just now trying to figure out what does digital transformation mean to them, and how do they become a part of it.
Can you dig in a little bit more on the agreement that you signed today with Tampnet?
Sure, I can. So we have signed a distribution agreement with Tampnet to provide LTE services. Phase 1 of that will be in the North Sea. So Tampnet has leveraged the offshore, the North Sea drilling platforms and assets in the North Sea to build an LTE network with fiber backup, and it enables vessels that operate close to those rigs and those platforms to be able to access low latency LTE services. And that will enable vessels to further transform their operations by being able to push more data back to the beach when they're operating in these areas, rather than looking at in addition to using the higher latency services with VSAT, they'll be able to get higher speeds, lower latency when they operate on these platforms or near these platforms.
Awesome. Well, Eric, as always, you're very generous with your time. We appreciate it. I hope you have a good show.
Thanks very much, and a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay. This is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV.